Taylor Swift promising she is still not backing down in her ongoing feud with music executive Scooter Braun over the rights to her music. In a lengthy social media post Thursday, Swift hitting back against Braun and his partner, Big Machine record label head Scott Borchetta, saying they're trying to stop her from performing a medley of her older hits at the 2019 American Music Awards next Sunday. Swift writing, "I'm not allowed to perform my old songs on television because they claim that would be re-recording my music before I'm allowed to next year. I just want to be able to perform my own music. That's it. I've tried to work this out privately through my team, but have not been able to resolve anything." Swift also claiming that Braun and Borchetta are not allowing her the use of her recordings in an upcoming Netflix documentary, and that they told her she could only use her old songs if she agreed to never re-record them, and agreed to not publicly speak badly of Braun, Borchetta, and Big Machine in the future. Swift writes, "The message being sent to me is very clear. Basically, be a good little girl and shut up, or you'll be punished." The bad blood beginning back in June, the Grammy Award winner blasting Braun's purchase of her old record label. The deal gives Braun the rights to the original recordings of Swift's first 6 albums, meaning that a significant portion of their profits will now go to him. Swift claims she was blindsided by the sale to someone she accused of incessant manipulative bullying for years.
Now, could you re-record?
Oh, yeah.
Might you do that?
Oh, yeah.
That's a plan?
Yeah.
That the 29-year-old pop star's entire catalog of music was sold. But it's not just the sale that has her upset. It's the buyer, Scooter Braun, the high-profile manager behind artists like Justin Bieber, Ariana Grande, and once Kanye West. The Bad Blood singer calling it my worst-case scenario, blasting Braun, who she alleges publicly bullied her along with Bieber and West. Just this weekend, it was announced that Braun acquired her former label, Big Machine, which owns so many of her deeply personal recordings for $300 million. In a passionate and unfiltered Tumblr post, Swift writing, "My musical legacy is about to lie in the hands of someone who tried to dismantle it." Swift's emotional message spotlighting a debate about whether or not artists should own the rights to their music, something legends like Prince and Sir Paul McCartney have publicly grappled with. And while the pop princess is no stranger when it comes to controversy, her latest statement has ignited yet another public feud, this time with one of the music industry's most powerful players.
This happens all the time, but because of Taylor's platform and her very heartfelt take on the situation, you know, she's raising her hands and saying, this is messed up.
But before Taylor was Taylor, the fresh-faced teen met Scott Borchetta, who would sign her at just 14 years old as one of the first artists for his new label, Big Machine Records.
Big Machine Records became a giant almost immediately thanks to Taylor.
Just starting out, Taylor spoke to ABC as a freshman in high school.
You might say this is Taylor Swift's happy place, at the piano in her Nashville home.
There have been so many songs I've written at this piano. Been sleeping so long in a 20-year dark.
And it's off in the middle of the night?
It's usually in the middle of the night. Or if I'm trying to get to sleep and I can't, and then I get an idea, and I'm like, well, I'm not tired anyway. And then kind of wander over here.
This is kind of a rare sight, not just because we were there.
Haven't serenaded someone in a while. Hope you know that.
But because, for the moment, she was actually sitting still.
I promise that you'll never find another like me.
And there never really has been another like Taylor Swift. After only 13 years in the business, she's become a musical force of nature with an armload of #1 hits, more Grammy Awards than the Rolling Stones, and according to Forbes, the distinction of being the highest paid celebrity on the planet. By any measure, she's an amazing young... But there were times, she said, and a woman...
You're always going to have people going, a man is allowed to react, a woman can only overreact. I know that I'm a handful, baby.
And it seems her usual reaction is to get to work. Taylor Swift writes or co-writes all of her songs. What's more, her music videos are all her vision. From the pastel wonderland in Me to the giant dollhouse in her latest video, Lover.
We could leave the Christmas lights up till January.
Lover is also the title track of her critically acclaimed new studio album, her 7th. She wrote the song on her piano at home and polished it up in the studio. This is her video, taken on her cell phone.
Lover.
And action!
And once she recorded the music, Taylor and her cats went to Hollywood to make the music video. And she invited us along to watch.
Okay, so when I come onto one of these sets, my heart is racing. I'm so excited. It's so cool.
Definitely.
You?
Absolutely.
And action!
There's a love story here. And like a lot of Taylor's work, it's an echo of her real life. Born in Reading, Pennsylvania, Taylor Swift discovered her love for music as a toddler. She set her sights on a career in country music, and eventually her parents and younger brother moved to Nashville to help her do it.
My brother's a real bro for doing that.
Yeah, they all upended their lives.
For sure.
It worked out well.
Yeah, I buy him lots of presents.
The rest reads like a fantasy. Taylor Swift became a country music phenomenon. And in the last few years, a pop icon. But the superstar is, by her own admission, as emotionally fragile as any other 20-something.
I'm still someone who is the first to apologize when I'm wrong. And I think I'm better at standing. I couldn't believe who he sold it to, because we've had endless conversations about Scooter Braun, and he has 300 million reasons to conveniently forget those conversations.
Now, could you re-record?
Oh, yeah.
Might you do that?
Oh, yeah.
That's a plan?
Yeah, absolutely.
Scooter Braun may not agree with her side of the story, but he did reach out to Swift in a tweet last week.
Because you've really been there for me, and you've made my life what it is.
This personal connection has earned her a loyal following, but her openness comes at a price. She's followed just about everywhere she goes these days by people who are crazy about her, or just plain crazy.
Where is home for you now?
It's a very good question. I try not to ever really say where I am the most, because since all my addresses are on the internet, people tend to show up uninvited. Like, you know, dudes that think we have an imaginary marriage.
You mentioned that you keep wound dressing with you?
Yeah, I've had a lot of stalkers show up to the house armed. So we have to think that way.
And she's come under attack in other ways. You need only glance at the tabloids to see some very well-publicized feuds, and she often hits back at her haters through her music.
Almost every album you have a song where you address the haters. At least one song, sometimes
I probably
more than
do
one
have
song.
that habit. I'd have that habit, yeah.
Why is that? Do you believe in forgiveness?
Yes, absolutely. Like, for people that are important in your life who have added, you know, who have enriched your life and made it better, and also there's been some struggle and some bad stuff too. But I think that, you know, if something's toxic and it's only ever really been that, what are you gonna do?
Just move on.
Just move on. It's fine.
We have the record-breaking night now for Taylor Swift, the pop megastar, taking the stage and taking a stand at the American Music Awards after that battle with her former record label. Amy joins us with much more on all this. Good morning.
That's right. Happy Monday, guys. Taylor Swift wasn't just named Artist of the Decade last night. She's now also the winningest artist of all time, and she used that stage last night to send a message. Taylor Swift came out on top, opening up her American Music Awards Greatest Hits medley with her new song, The Man. With lyrics like, I am so sick of them coming at me, and wearing a jacket featuring her old album titles, Swift appeared to be referencing her ongoing dispute with Big Machine Records over ownership of her old music. Swift then turning to her past hits like Love Story.
Interesting, because I don't think I have written a song quite like that before, and it's just sort of like, it's just a tough one.
I can imagine, but I can also tell you, having listened to it, that it's universal.
It's just not something that we deal with until we have to, until we see it, until we experience it, until someone close to us is going through something like that. And so writing about it was really emotional, and I'm just gonna stop talking about it now.
Understandable. Oh yeah, feel the temperature?
It's warm. It's fine.
She's a lot more comfortable here, where she can plunge into her work. This glass tank will become a symbolic fishbowl in the music video.
I very oftentimes remark that my life is like a fishbowl, and that like if I were to like fall in love, somebody's choosing to be in that fishbowl with me.
To jump into the fishbowl with you.
Generate this and not jump in?
I don't know. Couldn't we have done this on the? Well, yeah, we'll never know.
All right.
We could let our friends crash in the living room.
At the moment, Taylor Swift is, well, fully immersed in today. Beyond that, she says she doesn't know and doesn't want to.
Signing with Republic Records and Universal Music Group, writing on Instagram, it's also incredibly exciting to know that I'll own all of my master recordings that I make from now on. But to really understand the background here, let's rewind a bit. It's 2009, Taylor is still country, Kanye isn't married to a Kardashian. Cut to this now infamous moment at the VMAs.
I'm gonna let you finish, but Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time.
And thus, a celebrity feud is born. Fast forward to 2016, Kanye, at the time repped by Braun, releases the song Famous, calling out Taylor by name.
I feel like me and Taylor might still have sex. Why? I made that famous.
Shortly after, Kanye's wife, Kim, posts this video to Snapchat, what seems like a conversation between her husband and the pop star.
Yeah, I mean, go whatever line you think is better.
That Keeping Up with the Kardashian star speaking out on her show, defending Kanye.
Yeah, I'm just like speaking the truth. Like he called her, spoke to her.
At the time, Swift fired back on Instagram, writing, "I was never given the full story or played any part of the song." Going on to say, "I would very much like to be excluded from this narrative, one that I have never asked to be a part of since 2009.
Scooter Braun and Taylor have a history. Justin Bieber, who Scooter Braun manages, opened for Taylor a few times and things were all good until the feud between Kanye West, Kim Kardashian against Taylor Swift a couple of years ago, which was really a pretty ugly feud.
After the news of the sale broke, Swift writing, "All I could think about was the incessant, manipulative bullying I've received at his hands for years, like when Kim Kardashian orchestrated an illegally recorded snippet of a phone call to be leaked, and then Scooter got his two clients together to bully me online about it." Swift referring to this photo of Braun, West, and Bieber that the Sorry singer posted with the caption, "Taylor Swift, what up?" adding, "This is Scooter Braun bullying me when I was at my lowest point. He's about to own all the music I ever made." Another point of contention, the songstress claims she wasn't given the opportunity to buy her music from Big Machine Records. But Scott Borchetta, who sold the label to Braun, says that's not the case, slamming back in a post of his own, writing, "Taylor had every chance in the world to own not just her master recordings, but every video, photograph, everything associated to her career. She chose to leave." And refuting Swift's claims.
Braun fired back, denying Swift's allegations and saying her post put his company and his family in grave danger due to death threats from her overzealous fans. Taylor didn't directly address the controversy last night, but she did put her year in perspective when she picked up the Artist of the Year award.
The last year of my life has had some of the most amazing times and also some of the just like hardest things I've gone through in my life. And I wanted to thank you so much for being the thing that has been a constant in my life.
Now, Swift never mentioned Scott Borchetta or Scooter Braun by name last night. We just did. In a statement prior to the show, Big Machine said that Swift didn't need the company's permission to perform any songs live at the AMAs, although they had come to terms with her on a licensing agreement about streaming the performance.
Do you think about, what am I going to do in 20, 30 years?
No, because that puts me into what I call like a panic spiral. Like, I cannot do that. I've never been able to do that.
Why?
It just freaks me out. When I zoom out too far, I freak out. Do I know where I'm gonna be or even wanna be in 20 years? Absolutely not. Like, not taking a single day for granted.
So how far ahead do you look?
6 months?
That's about
Just
it.
because I have to plan shows and stuff.